my 5-year-old expelled from kindergarten on purpose. Riley spent the entire summer asking me how many days until kindergarten. She'd cross them off on her calendar every morning. When the first day finally came, she ran into Mrs. Moldova's classroom without even saying goodbye to me. I stood in the hallway and cried, happy tears. Mrs. Moldova had been at the school for 18 years. Every parent in the district wanted their kid in her class. I felt like we'd won the lottery. For 6 weeks, Riley came home glowing. She talked about Mrs. Moldova like she was a Disney princess. Then one Sunday night, Riley started sobbing and begging me not to make her go to school. I asked what happened. She wouldn't tell me, just cried harder. I went to Principal Roach the next morning, told him something was wrong. He leaned back in his chair and said, Mrs. Moldova is beloved here. She's been teaching longer than you've been alive. Maybe the issue is at home. By the end of the week, other parents stopped making eye contact with me at pickup. Word had spread. I was the crazy mom who accused the perfect teacher. I bought a notebook and started documenting everything. Day 1, I called Riley for dinner and she flinched so hard she knocked over her juice. Day 2, she climbed into my lap and whispered, Mommy, am I stupid? The word hit me like a slap. She'd never said that before. Day 3, I picked her up and she was wearing a stranger's clothes. She'd wet herself at school. When I asked what happened, she just stared at the floor. I signed up to volunteer in the classroom. Mrs. Moldova smiled at me the whole time, helped kids with their projects, spoke in a soft, patient voice. I watched Riley. She sat perfectly still at her desk, didn't move, didn't speak unless spoken to. The other kids wiggled and laughed. Riley looked like a statue. At pickup, I knelt down next to a boy named Nick, asked him if he liked kindergarten. He glanced toward the building, then leaned close. Mrs. Moldova yells when the mommies leave. She calls us bad words. I drove straight to Principal Roach's office, showed him the notebook, told him about Nick. He closed my notebook without reading it and slid it back across the desk. Mrs. Moldova has taught here for 18 years without a single complaint. If you continue this harassment, I'll involve the police. I sat in my car and screamed into the steering wheel. Then I thought about Riley's empty eyes, the flinching, the silence, and I realized no one was going to help me. Not Principal Roach, not the other parents. The only people above him were the school board, and they only get involved for serious matters, like expulsions. I drove home and explained the plan to Riley, told her to refuse Mrs. Moldova's instructions, say no over and over until someone came. She started crying, but I'll get in trouble. I held her tight. I know, but this is how we make it stop. The expulsion letter arrived that Friday. I called the district office and requested a formal board hearing. The hearing was in the district office. Long table, 5 board members. Principal Roach sat on one side with a folder. Mrs. Moldova sat next to him in a pink cardigan, clutching a tissue like a prop. Principal Roach spoke first. Riley displayed repeated defiance, disrupted class, refused instructions. Her mother has also harassed staff with baseless accusations. Mrs. Moldova wiped her eyes. I tried everything with Riley. Some children are just difficult. The board chair looked at me. Your response? I stood. I didn't come here to fight the expulsion. I came here to tell you why I caused it. The tissue in Mrs. Moldova's hand stopped moving. I pulled out my folder. 2 months of documented changes in my daughter's behavior. Nightmares, bedwetting, flinching at sudden noises. I set the journal on the table. Written statements from 3 families whose children described identical experiences. I set those down. And an audio recording I made by hiding my phone in Riley's backpack. I connected to the speaker and pressed play. The room filled with Mrs. Moldova's voice. You're all stupid. Every single one of you. You think your parents love you? They dump you here because they can't stand you. A child crying. Then Mrs. Moldova again. Shut up. Shut your mouth right now or I'll give you something real to cry about. I stopped the recording. Dead silence. Mrs. Moldova shot to her feet. That's fake. She manipulated it. She's been trying to ruin me for months. A woman in the back row stood. My son told me she yells. I didn't believe him. Another parent stood. My daughter said the same thing. Then another. Mine too. The board chair turned to Principal Roach. Her voice flat and cold. How long have you known about this? He didn't answer. How long, Roach? There have been complaints, he said quietly. A few. Over the years. How many? Silence. 6.
Click the link in my profile to watch the exciting follow-up.